What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite $200 to around $250 smartphones. This is going to be old flagships, and I think I got one mid-range phone in here. But as the years go on, this price point has gotten extremely good, as you guys are going to see. We've got a lot of good price drops here. I think the most amazing price drop that we've gotten this year is the Galaxy S23. This phone hovering around 223. This phone used to sit at around 300 bucks, in the very good, excellent condition. But yeah, 223 right now on eBay is extremely good. These are USA prices as well. And yeah, this phone is awesome. I really love the design here. IP68 dust and water resistant. We got that matte finish. It's very comfortable to hold. It is a, kind of a smaller phone. And yeah, we got the aluminum frame, and I have really no issues with the hardware. I actually think this looks better than the newer, Galaxy S25 phone with the thicker camera rings. But yeah, the display is still really great on here. We have the dynamic AMOLED panel. It's 120 hertz HDR10 plus. It is 1750 nits peak brightness at 6.1 inches. It is 1080p 425 for the PPI with the Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It's a completely flat panel. The screen to body ratio is still pretty decent. It's 86.8%. And you still get really nice vivid colors with the S23. And overall, really don't have any complaints when you're watching content on this phone. It's still bright enough where you can kind of see it outdoors. But yeah, I have no issues with the panel. It's still an excellent AMOLED screen. Now, this phone just got the One UI 8 update. It has a 4-year pledge, so we do get one more major OS update, and then it will go into security patch stages. Now, we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on here, 128 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM. The cool thing about the S23 phone is that this phone, software-wise, is really not that different from the S25. Yes, you are going to be missing some Galaxy AI features, but a lot of the essential features are here. And yeah, it's nice that we have the updated Gemini on here and all that stuff. So I would say software-wise, we're not missing out on much. I'm excited to see what they do, next year. We even have another big update, 8.5, that's going to bring some more new features. But as far as the power goes, it's still a very smooth phone. Your general performance is very nice when you're scrolling and just doing regular stuff on your phone. But even gaming performance is still pretty good on the S23. We have 120 frames for PUBG. So if you are into doing some competitive gaming, you can definitely do it on the S23, no problem. The speakers on the S23 are pretty good. You do have a pretty good amount of bass, and overall it does get pretty loud. We also do have on here the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which is really nice. So as far as the cameras, I still feel like you can get a very good shot out of this phone. Check out my S25 versus S23 comparison, and you'll pretty much see what I'm talking about. Yes, the cameras have gotten better, but the S23 still looks pretty good in comparison to the newer phones. It's a 15 megapixel standard with a 10 megapixel telephoto, has 3 times optical zoom, 30 times max zoom, 12 megapixel ultra wide. We can shoot in 8K 24 and 30. And we also have a 12 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. Like I said, you can get some pretty nice shots. Yes, the image processing has gotten a little bit better with the S24 and 25. But I still think in good lighting, you get a really good shot with the S23. That's good detail, good dynamic range. 3 times is still going to get you some really nice detail as well. The video is overall still pretty solid. The selfie camera is still pretty decent. You could probably see a little bit of it age in low light photography for sure. But I think in general, how most people take photos, you would be pretty happy with the S23's cameras. And as far as the battery life goes, it's not a massive battery life in the S23. It's a 3,900 milliamp. It charges, a little bit slower at 25 watts. It does have wireless and reverse wireless charging. So the battery performance is actually not bad for a smaller phone. So because the chip efficiency is pretty good with this 8 Gen 2, standby time is pretty good, and screen on time is also pretty good as well. This is why I say get the very good to excellent condition, so you have a phone with good battery health. But besides that, guys, I think this is overall an excellent buy for sure. All right, guys, next is the Galaxy S22 Ultra. This one surprisingly has come down quite a bit. It used to hover around that $300 price point. Now it's around $265, and by the end of this year, it should be 250, 240, at least 245 solid in the used refurbished marketplace. And we're talking about very good condition. I think a good condition is even going to be cheaper, but like I said, I prefer you guys to go with the very good condition in excellent conditions. This phone is awesome as well. We're waiting for the final One UI 8 update, and then this phone will go into security patch stages. It still looks great hardware wise. It is a a bigger phone. It's a boxier phone as well too. So if you have smaller hands, it could be a bit much. But it's IP68 dust and water resistant. You have a built-in S Pen. You could do digital artwork or just use it to navigate. It is Bluetooth, so there's a lot of little tricks you could do with the S Pen. And yeah, I think hardware wise, it looks great. Like I said, it's kind of a little bit sharp on the edges, so it can kind of be a little bit uncomfortable for people with smaller hands. This phone also has, I think, an excellent display. It is a dynamic AMOLED display. It's 120 hertz HDR10 plus, 1750 nits peak brightness at 6.8 inches. So again, it's a pretty big phone. Pretty good screen to body ratio, 90.2% screen to body ratio, 1440p, 540 ppi. One thing you may or may not like about this panel is that it is a curved panel, so a lot of people, you may not like that. But yeah, I absolutely love the screen on here, and really nice, vivid, vibrant colors on the S22 Ultra. And like I said, very big display. You can still see it outdoors in direct sunlight, pretty decently well. Like I said, this phone has its last major update, One UI 8, and then it's going into security patch stages. And software-wise, it's still running very smoothly with the One UI 7 update we have right now. We have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on here, 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. Now, performance-wise, the S22 Ultra, I think is fine for general usage. Like I said, this is a phone that I took to CES with me. I did a little day in a life. The battery life is fine if you're just an average user, you're not really gaming or maybe running GPS all day and stuff like that. It's definitely fine, but I would say if you're more of a power user, then you could kind of drain this phone for sure. I think the standby time has gotten better with software updates, but that was like another issue with this phone. Standby time wasn't that great, but it has gotten a little bit better. But like I said, this is not I wouldn't say it's a super power user phone. It's more for like regular people. But yeah, so just take that into consideration. You can still play PUBG at like 90 frames if you do want to get a little bit of gaming in. But this 8 Gen 1, it can kind of get a little bit hot too. That's one thing that I noticed with this phone. If you are going to do more intensive stuff, that's why I said you might want to save your money, go for like an S23 Ultra or something like that if you're more of a power user. But I think general performance, some of the AI features are even here as well too. The updated Gemini, some of the Galaxy AI features are even here. So I think it still feels very modern with the software, hardware, and the speakers on here are actually kind of a weak point for me personally. It's just not very loud when it comes to fullness. It just doesn't have a lot of bass. But besides that, I mean, actual speaker quality is fine. It's just it doesn't sound very loud. And the fingerprint scanner, very fast. It's the ultrasonic, no issues there. I think another highlight with this phone at this price point is the cameras. You're getting still some pretty good zoom photography for this price point. So it's 108 megapixel standard, 10 megapixel telephoto, 3 times optical, 10 megapixel periscope telephoto, 10 times optical. So that will enable you to get great shots at 20 times, 30 times. It can go all the way up to 100 times, but it's pretty impressive for the price that you're paying for. It's a 12 megapixel ultra wide. You have 8K 24 video and then a 40 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. I would say overall general shots, as you guys can see, look pretty good. Pretty decent color. It's going to show its age for sure in low light photography. But I think besides that, you're getting a really good zoom camera still, and also just general shots and good lighting still look pretty good. And the battery life, like I said, I touched on it. It's okay depending on what kind of user you are. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 45-watt charging, wireless and reverse wireless charging is on board. So I mean, this is a solid phone for this price point now. It's only going to get cheaper, so I think it's a pretty good buy. The Pixel 7 Pro is also a very good phone as well, and it's only getting cheaper. And this phone got an extended software support, so it'll actually get up to, I believe, Android 18. So I just did an Android 16 revisit with this phone, and it's got still a very good design. You still got that classic pixel visor design on here. It's aluminum frame, IP68 dust and water resistant. We do have an LTPO AMOLED display, 120 hertz HDR10 plus. This one is also curved as well. 1500 nits peak brightness, so it does pretty decent outdoors. It is, again, 6.7 inches, 1440p, 512 for the PPI. It's a very nice display still, very smooth. Like the whole operating system, the animations. Like this phone has only gotten better with time. Android 16 runs flawlessly on this device, so I've been really impressed with these older Pixel phones. And it's 88.7% screen to body ratio, so display looks great. I have no issues with it. And like I said, you get stock Android out the box. So those of you who just like the pure Google experience, it is really clean and very very nice on here. I love the animations and Android 16. And we have the Tensor G2 processor. So this is not a phone that I would consider for a power user. So if you're on a budget and you really like playing games and doing more power hungry stuff on your phones, this is more for the casual users, because really the highlight with this phone is really going to be stock Android and the not the software, but the cameras. Uh, this phone, it does fine when it comes to general performance, like the benchmarks and stuff. It's not gonna blow you away. Gaming performance is not really gonna blow you away, but it definitely is smooth and fast enough to do what most people wanted to do. You have 128 gigs of internal storage, and I believe 12 gigs of RAM, so this comes with plenty of RAM here. And the speakers are actually very good on here. You have a really nice full sound and great bass quality on here, so the speakers are great. The fingerprint scanner, it's an optical one, so it's not as fast as the Samsung flagships here, so you will kind of notice that it's not bad, but it's just a little bit slower. But it does work, so I don't really have an issue with it. Now, I still think the highlight is the cameras on here. I really love the way the cameras look on these older Pixel phones here. So you could say maybe the video's not that great anymore, or stuff like that. But I think the cameras are solid. It's a 50 megapixel standard, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto, 5 times optical zoom, 12 megapixel ultra wide. It's shooting 4K 60, 10.8 megapixel selfie camera. Also shoots in 4K 60. I mean, you are still getting some really good shots with this image processing. Really good detail. Even in lower light, it still can get you a pretty decent shot. So I'm always impressed when I come at these Pixel phones. The photos just look so clean. I do like the skin tones a lot more with the selfie camera and just in general. So I'm still really impressed years later with the Pixel 7 Pro when it comes to just still photography. Might not be, like I said, all that great with the video, but man, it's still impressive with the photos. Now, as far as the battery performance, it's just going to be pretty average. Like I said, not really all that great. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. We have 23-watt charging. 23-watt wireless charging, reverse wireless charging is on board. Like I said, the battery life is decent for lighter users, but if you're a heavier user, you could definitely kind of drain this phone. But overall, it's a very solid buy. All right, guys, next is going to be the iPhone 12. So this is the only iPhone you could really find that's worth buying, at that $200 price point. And this is a very solid phone. We did a revisit this year with iOS 26 with this phone. It was running actually pretty well. And I still like the design on here. It really hasn't aged that much, honestly. It's an aluminum frame. It's very squared off on the sides. It's IP68. Pretty comfortable to hold. It is a base model iPhone, so it's smaller. So I don't think the hardware looks that dated, especially from the back. It's only when you get kind of to the front. It's not that the screen is really that dated. It's just the notch up top is that bigger notch, so it kind of looks a little bit older for sure now. It's got the Super Retina XDR OLED. It's HDR10. It's 1200 nits peak brightness, which isn't really that bright outdoors, but you can kind of see it. It's a 6.1-inch panel, 86% screen to body ratio. And again, the resolution is actually pretty high. So the display on here is actually very crispy, very clean. It's 1170 by 2532. 460 for the PPI. It's got that original ceramic shield glass. And yeah, this display is very sharp. All the icons and text, they all look really clean. And this phone, like I said, it has iOS 26. It ran it flawlessly. I didn't really have any major issues with animations and lag and stuff like that. We have the Apple A14 chipset, which is still very good when it comes to general performance. Even PUBG was running pretty smoothly at 60 frames. But the only thing about these older iPhones is you have 64 gigs of internal storage, so you would have to get the 128 gig and spend a little bit more money. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, which surprisingly it was able to multitask just fine because iOS is very well optimized these days. And yeah, the speakers are actually pretty solid. They're not bad. There's a good amount of bass, especially for this size device. So very nice full sound. Face ID works fine still. The cameras are still pretty good. It's a 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel ultra wide. And again, the theme with these older phones is that you'll really notice the age more so in low light. You won't really notice it that much in good lighting conditions. Like the average person, I'm telling you, won't really notice. I did a whole comparison series with a 17 and 16 if you guys want to check that out. Video is also pretty solid as well. It's 4K 60, 12 megapixel selfie gets you 4K 60 as well. So I would say the photos are fine. Like I said, you'll see a little bit of age in low light for sure. And the battery life is okay. It's again one of those phones that you can't really be like playing games and doing kind of crazy stuff on your phone. It's a 2,815 milliamp hour battery. You do have max F capability on here, 15-watt charging. And yeah, I don't really have an issue with my battery life because I'm a lighter user, but for sure you could definitely drain this phone pretty easily. As last on the list is going to be the Moto G Stylus 2025 version. Guys, this phone is so good for the price. It is a mid-range phone, but it's a very solid mid-range phone. It gives you a lot of stuff you don't get today. Honestly, you could find these 200 bucks easily, and honestly even cheaper if you get it like on a prepaid carrier like the one I have for Cricket. You can get it for like 100 something bucks these days. But yeah, it is really nice. I do like the leather back, or it's probably not real leather, but leather back. If the texture is really nice, it's got that plastic frame. It's IP68 dust and water resistant, and then you also do have a pen with this phone. So you have a stylus that you can use to navigate with. They have little stylus features on the software, which is pretty cool. It's got a headphone jack as well too, which is very cool. You rarely see headphone jacks in 2025, so that's pretty cool. And on top of that, it does have SD card support, so you have expandable storage on here. So that's why I say it's very cool for that type of person that's looking for this type of stuff, because you rarely see it. The screen is also great. It's a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel, 120 hertz, 3000 nits peak brightness. It is 1220 by 2712, 444 for the PPI. A very sharp, very clean, clear display, great colors. Zero issues with that. It launched with Android 15. Motorola is promising 2 major OS updates and then security patches, which is fine for, again, the price, because a lot of people are going to be picking this up prepaid anyway. You do have the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 on here, 128 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM. You also get some, a few little AI features as well on top of Moto's kind of skin here, which is not bad at all. And the 6 Gen 3, again, it's a mid-range processor, so don't expect like crazy power out of this phone. It was able to do everything I wanted it to do as far as just your general performance. You can play some games on here. PUBG on 60 frames ran pretty decent, and I didn't have any issues at all with overheating or anything like that. So it's a solid performer when it comes to this chipset. And yeah, the speakers are solid. They're not the best on this list by any means. They're okay. They just sound okay. They just sound like mid-range speakers. The cameras, you would actually think that the cameras would be a weak spot, but I think the main camera is actually pretty solid. It's a 15 megapixel standard, 32 megapixel ultra wide. There's no telephoto lens or anything like that, so it does suffer in the zoom department, but it's 4K 30 video, so no 4K 60, unfortunately. You do have a 32 megapixel selfie cam that only shoots again in 4K 30. So the shots, kind of speak for themselves. You get some pretty solid shots with this phone. So I didn't think the photos looked bad at all. The video was, it was okay. It wasn't really all that impressive. But yeah, overall, I think you can get a really good shot out of this phone. You also have the fingerprint scanner worked well. I didn't have an issue with it. The highlight with this phone is the battery life. The battery life is really good on here. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You got really good charging speeds at 68 watts, and it also has wireless charging as well too. So I would say if you're looking for a pretty good battery life phone, this one was exceptional. It was very good. It's really hard to drain this phone. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. You got 200 bucks. What are you buying out here? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.